online right now to join us. Ramon, the first one on the show, the first one to join us. Hey, hi. I see more and more people coming on. Hello, hey everybody. Welcome again to another episode of USkTalks. It is midnight in Hong Kong. Thank you again for joining the show. Hello, people. Oh, the flurry of hearts have come on. Hello, hi. Good. Well, happy Sunday. And thank you so much for sticking around with me, for tuning in, and for starting my week in the most amazing way possible. Hanging out with you guys from all over the world. I see people, I recognize the name there from Reunion Island all the way close to Madagascar. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello people. Happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday indeed. I'm your host, Rob, and I wanted to start today with a special shout out to the USkTalks team. Now, you guys see me. Oh, I see somebody from Australia. It is 2 a.m. Hello, Richard Briggs. Hey, Stephanie. Hello from Portugal. Hello from Germany. Hello. If I could, I would high five you guys. No. So I wanted to start the show with giving a special shout out to the USkTalks team, because you see my face for the show, and I'm your host, but there is also an amazing team that is working behind the scenes to make this all happen. Now, we don't have a production crew or anything like that. I'm broadcasting to you from my home in Hong Kong, but there is an incredible amount of work that goes into putting all these things together. Did I just see Uzbekistan? Wow, hello. I would like to ask all of you to give a virtual clap to all those amazing people, all the volunteers from the USkTalks team, because it is not possible to do this just one guy like me. Okay, there's a lot that goes into all this. So thank you, USkTalk team. All right, so we've got a fascinating show for you. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are around the world. I know for much of the world is still under shutdown, lockdown, quarantine, etc. In Hong Kong, well, we're still told to social distance. And oh, I see all those claps now. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So in Hong Kong, things are easing in. Some people are starting to head out a little bit, but we're still extremely careful. But for much of the world, we're still pretty much staying at home, which brings us to the topic of today's show: stuck at home, the beauty in the everyday. What do you do? What do you draw? What do you sketch when you're looking at the same walls, the same stuff? How do you bring a fresh eye to things? We have fascinating people and amazing guests from Europe today, and they will be talking about exactly this subject. If you have seen the promos, you know who they are. We have Santi from Barcelona, and we've got Róisín from Ireland. So let's see. I'm going to start looking for our latest guest. Our first guest of today is a really sweet guy from Barcelona. And I'm going to have to, let's see. Santi, can you give me a thumbs up so that I can see you? Santi from Barcelona. While we're waiting for Santi, give me a show of hands. How many of you have been to the symposium in Barcelona? Because I have not, and I would have loved to go. I wasn't an urban sketcher at the time, but I sure wish that I was, because I heard that it was pretty darn amazing in Barcelona. And I can imagine there's so many things to draw there. So we are waiting for Santi from Barcelona. I see Swaski. Hey, Swaski, he's also from Barcelona. Hello. Thumbs up, lots of hands. Oh, I see Jeanine. I see Japan. Hello, Kubi. Oh, so many cool people. This is really so amazing. Okay, so let's see if we have our first guest lined up soon. Well, as I'm trying to get Santi on live, I suppose this is one time to tell you also that it's a little tricky because there's a lot of interesting tech that we have to navigate. It's all live on Instagram, so I'm trying to do this little delicate juggle of reading all the fascinating comments, seeing where you guys are from, trying to line up our guests and make sure that the show goes on. It's good for you. I'm a really chatty guy, and interesting point that you may not know is during one of these shows, I drink about a liter of water because I'm yakking all the time. Okay, so I do not yet see our good friend Santi. Let's see now. Okay. You know what? I think we may have to change the order of things. Perhaps, like, this is our third episode now. So, what we're going to do is perhaps we're getting a signal here that it has to be ladies first. So, I'm going to get our. From all the way from Ireland. Galway, Ireland, to join us on the show, and she's going to help us kick it off. Hello, Róisín, how are you?
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I just moved to the side here, give you a bit more room.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that particular setting, and it looks so familiar. This is the picture that you sent to us also, and
That's right.
I love that. I love that little pot-bellied stove.
It's really nice. It keeps me warm. I love it.
Yeah. Is that right to call it a pot-bellied stove?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I think a potbelly stove actually has a potbelly, but it's a little stove. It's a little stove.
Well, that would make me a pot-bellied stove, I suppose. But,
You're not the only one, Rob.
Well, hello, Róisín. So good to see
Hi,
you.
Rob.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for saying
Well, thank you
yes.
for inviting me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Okay, so you've got a lot of fans who are tuning in right now, but could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself for those of us who do not know you as well yet?
Sure. Okay, I'm Róisín Curé. I live in Galway, which is on the west coast of Ireland. It's very wet and windy here all the time. At the moment, we're having a beautiful spring. And we'll maybe talk a little bit about how we're all noticing the spring a bit more these days. I discovered urban sketching in 2012 by accident. And I think I was reading Danny Gregory's Everyday Matters. And I think I was only halfway through and I just went, why am I not sketching? And I have not stopped from that day. I have not stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a light bulb moment for me, and that was February of 2012. And then in December, I discovered the Urban Sketching organization, and that was it. That was it for me. It was just, that was it. Game, set, and match.
I so understand what you mean. Like, once I discovered this was a thing, and I met the first urban sketches, it was like, I'm home with a bunch of strangers, but I'm home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure our audience, everybody kind of identifies with that as well. They have that aha moment, and that's it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, on for life. That's so awesome. And I've been checking out your blog. I just look in the comments. There are lots of readers of your blog as well. Tell us, like right now, from your blog, I understand that you've been under lockdown for 30 plus days now. What's life like for you?
Well, it's funny because it's hard to put into words, but I feel like I've developed more in some ways in 38 days than I have done in 38 years, a bit more than that. But I do feel it's really strange. I'm still singing, so I guess I like all of us. I like to sing around the place, and I think that's kind of like literally a canary in the mine. If you're singing, you're happy. So I'm still singing. I'm not doing cartoons anymore. I like to mess around and just draw stupid drawings and funny drawings. That's gone.
Okay.
I'm still painting all the time. I'm still drawing my family. I'm still drawing my surroundings, and I'm so into it. I just love it. Writing the blog when you make a commitment like that every day, it is a commitment, and it's something that you've committed to and you're going to do. And I find that gives me a lovely focus, so I enjoy that very
Okay.
much.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time, but it's a pleasure. It's like a
Right.
hobby. It's a real pleasure.
I'm curious, do you do it at the end of the day or at the start of the day? Do you have a specific time you set aside for
Yes, I
writing?
have to do it before midnight the following day, or it doesn't get the date on it.
Okay. So whenever you can
Because I
fit it
can't
in.
miss a day. I'm being really OCD about that. I can't miss a day. So usually it's 5 to midnight, but I like to have all of the drawings done. And sometimes, for example, last night I did a portrait with my face mask on, and that happened as I was about to get into bed. So that was 11:30. So I have to wait till
Okay.
the next day to write it up.
Okay.
So I always
But
do it the next day for the day before.
I see. Okay. But I love how you've made it into a discipline, and it really shows that even when you're juggling a whole lot of things, being at home doesn't necessarily mean you have nothing to do, right? There's so much that you're handling. You're a mom, you're a writer, you teach, you cook, you do all these amazing things, and you're also maintaining a daily blog. It's a discipline,
Yeah,
wouldn't you
it's a
say?
discipline,
Yeah.
but but a discipline is a wonderful thing to have,
Hmm.
and any discipline, it's for me, I prefer to have the structure because obviously I'm not going out. I
Hmm.
had some discipline in the day before. I had
Hmm.
classes a couple of times a week,
Hmm.
but I liked to have a lot of free time,
Hmm.
and then I had my classes that I left the house for. Now I don't go anywhere. I have not been to a shop in 38 days.
But
So my
also,
husband is the grocery guy.
oh, yeah, your your wonderful husband.
He
That's the
is. He's
grocery
he's the man who
shopping.
he does the hunting and
Yeah.
gathering. Yeah,
Oh, right. I love that. I love that.
yeah,
But I also see from your Instagram feed and from your blog that you live in beautiful surroundings and you
yeah.
have access to the outdoors as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And which are your favorite places? I mean, you have home, you've got all that around you. What are your favorite spots?
I take a daily walk, and the walk
Hmm.
is about I don't know, it's about 45 minutes of a walk. If you walk good and fast, it's about 45
Hmm.
minutes.
Okay.
And I suppose I have places along that walk that are my favorite. There's a little lake that has more chicks and yellow flag irises and
Yeah.
swans.
Aren't you close? Are you close
It,
to the
it, it is.
beach as well? Did I read
Yes,
someplace that you?
yes, we're about 2 miles from the beach, and now it's not a beach; it's just a rocky shore, but
Okay.
it's completely pure and natural, and they harvest oysters
Oh,
there every day. And really, we live in a really undiscovered paradise. It's a
oh,
special place. Yeah,
that sounds so amazing. I mean, I'm
it
stuck on the.
is. But
Yeah,
sorry, Rob,
right.
just to be completely
No,
honest,
sure.
you pay for it in the winter. So
Ah, I see. Okay.
yeah, it changes
Right.
overnight
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
beginning of April. It changes, and then you're in
Balance.
paradise till the end of September. Exactly. Yeah.
It's all about balance. I can imagine. But I guess having access to the outdoors and being able to take walks and go out with your kids and all that,
Yeah.
that gives it such a nice break in your routine as
It's
well.
wonderful. It's
Hmm.
wonderful, and there's the fields around me are full of. Some of them have got galloping racehorses in them, and I mean it's literally. We were walking along my husband last night, and he said, "What's that noise of thunder?" And it was the galloping of hooves of excited
Wow.
young male horses. It was beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah,
Wow. I can only imagine.
it is. It's
And
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Well, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your drawing practice and the stuff that you're sketching in your home and how you specifically deal with the topic of sketching and finding the beauty in the everyday?
Um, I suppose for me, I'm one of those people who likes to draw people more than anything. For me,
Mhm.
people is life, and my daughter is 15, and she likes to, she takes very contorted poses. So she will, it's really good to, yes,
This one?
she's very expressive. Yes, this one, Livia, she's very expressive in her physicality. So she'll take any position. And I love the challenge that provides for me. And then my son is 18, and he is not as fast as she is. So that's him. That was a couple of nights ago, sketching him cooking dinner, and
Wow.
he, as you can see, there's two faces because he wasn't keeping still for me at all. If he was moving, it was my problem. And then my elder daughter, she makes a lovely subject as well. So all three of them are lovely. That's my youngest. I don't think I sent you
Oh,
my eldest, but
okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I'm not
That
sure.
that one there. Sorry, I just thought you. That was my it was just a quick one there. Yeah, my son cutting his friend's hair. Yeah. So they realized very quickly they weren't going to get to the barbers, and they cut each other's hair. And then I became the hairdresser. So I've cut my son's hair and one of my daughters, and then I cut my own hair today for the interview. So
wow, that's a really talented family.
Through YouTube, you can learn everything with YouTube.
That's true. I mean, yeah, we're stuck at home and we have all the lockdown issues and all that, but I think the fact that we have affordable, fast internet is really something to be so
unbelievable.
For.
Totally.
Yeah, that makes all the difference.
It makes all the difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just saw a comment. Yeah, you have all these amazing memories of being around with your kids, and you're recording live with them and all that. I really love that aspect. That you've got.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah,
sorry,
sure.
Rob. Just one small thing about that. For all those mums who are raising kids, and it can be very lonely, it can be very isolating. And when I had 3 small kids at home, it was very difficult. It was just me and kids who need and want you all the time. So this time, they don't need and want me all the time. I mean, they think they do, but they don't. So very special for me. It's a time I never saw coming. I thought as the years go by, they go further and further from you. But this time, we're stuck together, and it's been a time I'll never forget. And I'm so glad to have the sketches to put to the memories. So yeah.
And I think for them as well. I mean, when they look back, say,
that's my eldest. That's my eldest.
This is your eldest. Yeah.
That's my eldest. Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, I mean, for them, when they look back, say 10 years from now, and they'll remember this time. And I think it'll be like that for a lot of sketches as well. We've made all these really personal recordings of this period in time. Yeah. What an amazing treasure.
Totally. And I've been seeing some of the work. For example, Matt Lett from Paris, he's been keeping a daily lockdown blog, a sketchbook. I mean, it's just, he was going through his sketchbook in a flick through yesterday on Instagram, and the work is just, it's powerful. It's powerful. Everybody's recording what's on their doorstep, whether you're one person in an apartment or whether you're like me with the whole of nature around me, to record what's around you. And as we were just the other day, the microcosm opens up and becomes a macrocosm when you the more you look, the more you see. So, you know, there's so much around you that can give you inspiration, and to draw because you want to, because it looks good, not because it's a subject that's worthy of capture. You know, it could be your dishes in your kitchen drawer. It could be just anything, a couple of pieces of crockery that you like. Could be, you know, maybe a little bit of cooking or baking, something that you buy that just looks pretty. So, you know, for me, it's...
I love that simple example. I mean,
yeah, that was nice.
Something you have at home, you know, and everyday items, and you look at them through fresh eyes, and that is beautiful.
Yeah, and my husband said when I was drawing that, can you not put Gordon's gin on the label instead of some unknown brand? And I said, no, I'm an urban sketcher. I put what's there. I don't tell lies.
Right, yes, right, yeah. So, quick tip then for people to tune their eyes at looking at the everyday and learning to sketch, even though you see it all the time. What would you tell them?
I would say it's the same thing I always say whenever I teach. Always look for the thing that you want to sketch. If you want to sketch it, if it's inspiring you, then you're halfway there. The inspiration will carry you halfway through the effort before you've even started. So rather than try and sketch something that you think you should do, try and do what attracts you. I suppose that would be my main advice. And then even if it maybe doesn't go as well as you wanted, at least you've caught something that you were enjoying drawing. Be attracted by a nice pattern, be attracted by a nice combination of colours, rather than I really should draw my dog in this, or this view, just something that you like.
I so resonate with that because I when I teach also, especially for beginner sketchers who are like, I don't know where to start. Draw something you love, draw something you really find fascinating, and start with that because excellent.
It could be anything. Everybody has something they love. It could be an old sweater or a logo on a T-shirt. It could be anything. That's what's so cool about urban sketching. We never set out to make art. We just set out to have a bit of fun and to, start mucking around with colour.
Yep. Yeah, and for all those people who are discouraged, like, oh, you're so good, I wish I was
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
One thing I would say is what you see is the result of decades of practice. So
Exactly.
everyone has
Yeah,
to start someplace. Yeah.
totally. And when Facebook throws up memories from 5 years ago, my drawings, I'm like, oh my Lord, there's a lot of ink under the bridge. There's just practice, practice,
I love that.
practice.
Ink under the
Yeah,
bridge. I love that.
yeah.
Yes,
There
yes.
is,
And so,
yeah. There's a
so when
lot
you
of ink
draw,
under the bridge.
and so when you draw stuff you'll love and things you're fascinated by, I mean, the ink just flows.
The ink flows. You've
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the. I mean, I was talking to my mum this morning about. We were talking about different techniques, and even if people are doing techniques that I don't teach, I don't care what they do and how they do it, as long as they don't get discouraged, and as long as they want to do another drawing. That's all that matters. Because once they keep doing that, they will find their voice. Their voice will come, and that is a glorious day. When you see your voice and you feel it and you hear it as an artist, that is a very special day.
I so agree with that. That's true. It takes a little time, but be patient
It
with
does.
yourself.
It does.
And I think the urban sketchers community is pretty awesome in that way, because whether it's a sketch walk you go to, whether you post your stuff online, people are so supportive.
So nice, so good. Never take themselves too seriously, and so supportive. And we're a very, very equal society, group of whatever, a community. We're very equal, and again, we value everyone as much as the top guys. It's just, it's a wonderful community.
Yeah, and it's so awesome having people like you on the show as well, because I think it's one thing. Like before, we'd see all this amazing work on feeds, and I remember the first time I noticed your work was on the Urban Sketchers Facebook group, and I was amazed at the way you painted clouds. And I kept looking out. I would see a Róisín cloud painting, and I knew it was you. And now talking to you, it's. I mean, I've met you before at symposiums, but I think this is one reason that I love doing USkTalks is to give other people a chance as well to get to know sketchers like us.
Yeah, sure. It's such a brilliant initiative. It's wonderful. I mean, this is just so clever.
Yeah. Oh. Well, it works because we have guests like you to be on the show. So thank you so much.
It's great fun.
I would like to change the topic just slightly, and I want to talk about some of the delicious things that you draw and how you actually, go about doing things like that. And why do you choose to draw that?
Well, because it's too delicious to let go without sketching it. Like everything I draw, it has to be done because it's too beautiful. That was quite funny because often I have to fight with my family to be allowed to have enough to sketch before it gets gobbled. What I liked about that particular one was, I don't know, Rob, you go ahead and ask what you're going to ask. I just wondered if were you going to ask about the technique, or I'll let you go ahead.
I've noticed that baking is something that you're quite into. And I wondered whether you have, by now, and for our viewers, by now that with every episode, we have a little something extra that each guest will bring to the table. So can you perhaps tell us then how all this is part of the challenge that you'd like to introduce to our audience today?
Well, I found that with baking, the challenge for me when I started painting my little hot crust buns, my cinnamon buns, drawing with a pen, which is my natural way, just wasn't going to cut the mustard. It wasn't going to work. Because with baking and baked goods, whether you make it or whether you buy it, it's just, there aren't many lines. There's just a big collection of browns. And it can be a little bit off-putting. If you go in there with a pen, you're going to find very quickly that it's going to get heavy and stiff and tight. So what I did with both the hot cross buns and the cinnamon rolls, I stood up, so I was looking down at them, and I started with, and I can finish, I only used one brush. I used my Rosemary Squirrel Mop, and I started with just sketching out with my brush, standing up, as I say, with a very loose hand. I started drawing the circles with my brush, getting the big shapes first, leaving lots of areas white, partly for the shine on the buns, but also because I think a lot of white can keep a very fresh, light look. I can't draw circles, but I found drawing the plate with the brush was so much easier with the brush than it was with a pen, because with the pen you're touching the paper so closely, your hand can wobble, you can go sideways. With the brush you just give it a big swoop and hey presto, you've got a lovely circle. So I allowed each layer to dry, and then I was able to build up each layer. So that's my first bit I do, build up each layer. If you don't let it dry, it won't darken, it just will wash into the watercolor. Then I look for the borders between a light area and a darker area. And in the dark area, just next to the border, I beef up the color. So I deepen the color right next to the border. And that's when it starts looking three-dimensional. Then I pick out my shadows. And really that starts throwing it into 3 dimensions then. And then it's just a question of building up and building up. And then when it's all fully dry, at the very end, you can take your pen, use it very sparingly, just for the smallest details, like maybe the odd raisin or the odd little dark patch, maybe a tiny bit of shadow just where it hits the bun and it's super dark.
Wow.
So again, it's about observation, but using a brush, I found it was much more free. And I was surprised at how good the results were, because normally I would have made a big mess of it.
Well, so, I think you've done really well, because while you've been explaining, I've been showing your work, but also reading the comments, and everybody's hungry now. So
that's a result. That's a result.
I think you're going to inspire some baking here. So,
good.
Please, this ties perfectly into the challenge that you've come up with. Can you please tell us about that?
Well, that's it. That was it.
Okay.
The challenge is, I've done a little challenge, and I've given you paint what you bake. It's direct watercolor painting, no pens, because you've only got different shades of brown. Maybe if you've chosen something with little, I don't know, bits of icing or whatever, then you can have a little bit of fun with colors. But when I bake, I tend to just, everything is brown. Everything is brown. So I used yellow ochre, I used burnt umber, I used that beautiful color by Daniel Smith, which is called transparent red oxide, which I adore. So those are my 3 browns, and maybe a little bit of Naples yellow for some of the more yellowy brown bits. And then I always use a Payne's Grey. I like the Rembrandt brand of Payne's Grey. Love it. Absolutely gorgeous shade. Beautiful texture for the shadows. And then when everything's dry, I use a white gel pen to pick out anything that needs picking out, like, for example, the fluff on the edge of the towel, which only shows if you have a super dark background. Don't bother with your white gel pen unless you've got a super dark background. And that's really that's only the literally, I suppose you could say, the icing on the cake.
Wow.
So that's about it. But it's fun, and it's not as if you're not confident with pen work, it's not going to be as frustrating if you just keep on building up your layers with your brush.
Okay. And for those of us who don't bake, can we just buy something and paint that?
Paint what you buy. Paint what you buy.
Yes.
Buy it because it's pretty rather than because it looks as it's going to taste good.
Yeah, and I think I actually know a lot of urban sketchers who also like to paint food, and sometimes they just pick that because it just looks good. Doesn't matter how it looks
good. Because it looks good. This is the best reason to draw anything, because it looks good.
That's right. Yeah, and it makes you want to draw or want to learn something.
Yeah.
So
exactly. It's about playtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That time just flew right on by. And I think lot of people are hungry. They're hungry to try something new. I think a lot of people are going to go out and grab some delicious baked goods now. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Róisín. I so enjoyed having this little chat with you.
I did too. Thank you, Rob.
I look forward to seeing you again sometime, when we can all sketch together. Okay.
That would be wonderful. I look forward to it.
Have a lovely Sunday with your family, and we'll see you another time.
Thank you, Rob. I look forward to the next step of the talks with Santi.
Okay. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, bye-bye. That was Róisín, fascinating, talented. I'm amazed at how many super moms out there. And for those of you who may have just tuned in, welcome. This is USkTalks. I am Rob, your host. We just spoke to our first guest, Róisín from Ireland, and we are now going to pull on our next guest all the way from Barcelona, Santi, who is another talented sketcher. For those of you who are not aware of his work, well, it is time to get you acquainted. Hello, Santi. How are you?
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I'm so good.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking so well groomed and very handsome. Somebody told me Santi looks like a rock star, and I think I don't you guys agree? Doesn't Santi look like a rock star? Do you happen to play a musical instrument? I'm just curious.
No, no, no.
No?
I only
Okay.
I only draw.
You only draw. That is your
Yes,
instrument. Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
Santi, you have many fans who are watching, but there are some people who don't know you yet. Can you please also introduce yourself?
okay. I am Santi Sallés. I am from Barcelona,
Hmm.
and I am urban sketcher. I am graphic designer, and I am illustrator.
Hmm.
And now in Barcelona is a cloudy day, and it's
Hmm.
raining. It's raining now
Oh, right. Okay.
in Barcelona. Yes,
Okay.
and during the confinement,
Hmm.
I am doing drawing classes online for
Oh,
my
right. Okay.
students. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. Okay. I was just about to ask you what is your favorite thing to draw, and I see a lot of interesting green stuff behind you there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My favorite thing to draw it's the nature.
The
Mm.
nature.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The people say that it's my specialty.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I remember last year in Amsterdam, you had a workshop on just painting greens. And
yes.
at first I must admit, when I was thinking painting greens, I didn't think about how many kinds of greens there were. And then I saw your work and I thought, wow, your
Yes.
eyes are so tuned to that, like the quality of light and different things about that. So
Yes.
so in Barcelona, where do you go to paint greens?
In the parks,
Where's
in all places, but on the street, on the landscape near Barcelona,
oh
on the mountains,
oh
it's full of greens. Okay,
oh
and
that's
the last year was
mhm,
my first symposium in
mhm.
Amsterdam.
Wow.
Yes,
Always a first for somebody. And it's, yeah, that's when I saw you for the first time. Yeah, I
yes,
heard that your workshop was a huge success. I see also some comments there. There are a lot of people who took your workshop and they had such a fantastic time. So welcome to the symposium faculty. I hope you had a
yes.
good time.
Thank you, Rob.
Amazing. Okay.
Yes.
So you're also staying home right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or do you have, like, how do you divide your time? Do you have a favorite place where you're spending most of your time at home?
Yes, I tell you, Rob, my I am freelance,
Hmm.
and my favorite place, and I working all day at home, and my favorite place is the living room.
Hmm.
Okay, it's next to the kitchen, and I have a lot of light, a natural light,
Yeah.
and
I,
I'm working all day.
oh, wow. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So, well, I'm very glad to hear that you have work that's keeping you busy also. Yeah. But at
yes,
the same
yes.
time, I also see, like, from your Instagram feed and all that, that you're drawing many, many different kinds of things. So I was also curious, how do you approach drawing things that you see every day? You see the same thing, but you draw it also. How do
Yes.
you approach that?
The area that have been getting my attention has been the kitchen. Okay,
Hmm.
because the kitchen is full of things. It's full of fruit, full of food. It's pots of pasta. It's sauces, and you can to take a look on the fridge. Yes,
Right. This is one of
I
your
drew the
examples.
yes, I drew this the other day. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I
Is that tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I was particularly fascinated with this, and I think a lot of our viewers also will resonate with this. When I saw this on Instagram, I was thinking, oh, I know that. I know this sauce. I know some of these sauces. This one I don't know. This is
No,
different.
no, yes, because this is Catalan. This is
Ah,
a Catalan brand.
okay.
It's for to put in the preserves in the
Oh, I see.
potato. Yes, It's for savory. Yeah.
Ah, for something savory. And I
Yes.
love the little logo that you add on there as well.
Yes. It's a new sardine.
A new sardine.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I can see from the comments that are a lot of viewers in our audience who know your work and they are particularly fascinated by one thing I notice is that you look very organized also when you draw your food. There is this one, there is this one. Is
Yes.
there a
Yes.
is there a particular way that you go about or like how you think about organizing things when you draw?
No, the question is that I am very organized, and I love the sequence, okay,
Ah,
and the elements in line for me is very aesthetic, and
ah.
for me it's very nice, and I think so that the reason is because I am graphic designer. I don't
Mm,
know. It's naturally, but I don't know. But I love the repetitions.
right,
I
repetition.
love yes,
I
yes,
can
yes,
I
yes,
can see that. And I think that's a very important message also for sketchers, especially some people who have been home for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they feel like, oh, I've drawn this already once, it's enough. But I think you're giving a very good example, like just this artichoke. There are so many ways to approach it.
yes, yes. It's well,
Yeah, okay.
yes,
And the other thing that I'm also interested in is how you do these, like all these color swatches. Is that
yes.
intentional or is it part of the intentional
Well,
part of the composition?
for me, it's part of the composition because
Mm.
it's full of colors, and I put because it's the samples of for the artichokes, and
Ah,
for me it's very aesthetic. It's part of the composition. It's part of the
yeah,
drawing. Yeah,
yeah.
fantastic one.
Yeah, I really love how that adds that little pop as well. And it makes it very much your style to have
Yes,
all these color swatches in there.
yes,
Yeah. So as
yes.
you're painting, you also just do a little
No,
click,
only put a little bit.
a little bit, a little bit.
Yes,
Okay.
and for
Okay.
me it's very important the text because the
Yes, it
text
is.
is part of the drawing. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's it's it's
Well,
okay.
well, this would be an example that I love about how you've added text and you've made it part of the composition, like in terms of balance. But
Yes,
also, I mean, when you were saying how you love to be organized, I can see how this
yes,
is,
yes, yes. It's full
that
of
is so cool. That
yes,
is so cool.
yes, yes. But this is my pantry on my kitchen.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and I
So
have
these are,
tell me.
yeah, so these are these spices.
This is spices and pots of pasta and rice.
Oh, all right.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and
And then the,
spaghettis on and rice
oh,
and
yeah.
herbs and spices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Herbs and spices. I see. So these are all the spices and different things as well.
Yes, yes, and sugar and I don't know, and oil, and
Okay.
Spanish
All
Catalan oil.
all the amazing ingredients. So I assume then that you cook quite a bit on your own.
Yes, yes, yes. I am. These days I cook. Yes, I am cooking cakes. The other day
Uh,
I cook a cheesecake. Yes, and I drew the recipe. Yes, and
that looks so good.
I think that the kitchen is a good place for an inspiration for the people. I think that
Yeah.
the people all day are cooking, and I think that can to draw the recipe that they have cooking.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Would that be
Yes.
your challenge to the audience then to ask them to draw a recipe?
And finally, I tell about my challenge.
Yeah, okay, okay, finally. I'll
Yeah.
leave that to the end then. Okay, then I'm sure there are a lot of people who are looking at your technique now who would like to know what are some of the tools that you use? Like, what are your top favorite tools? Can you
Yes,
share that with some of us?
well, nowadays one of my favorite tools is this is a graphite pencil, but it's a special pencil because it's with oil base.
Okay.
Yes, and the brand is Faber-Castell,
Uh-huh.
and there is five model. There are five models. Is extra hard, medium, soft, and extra soft. And
Okay.
normally I use extra soft and medium.
Okay. Extra
Yeah.
soft. I can imagine. So it slides over the paper nicely. Is that
Yes,
why?
it's perfect because the extra soft is more dark, is more black than the
Okay.
medium. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And
And
what?
now, tell me.
No, go on. Sorry. Yeah, go on. Tell me about your tool.
Yes,
Yeah.
and during these days, I discover another tool. Is this? Is the pen? Is the pen? Is the big pen?
The humble Bic.
Yes, yes. It's perfect because it's very comfortable and it's perfect for travel.
Yeah.
No during the confinement, but it's perfect for travel.
Yeah.
And I use this with four colors, with four inks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
red, green, black, and blue.
Yeah. So in any situation, you can just pull that out and you can just get going.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and the,
can you tell us about the sketchbooks that you use then?
yes, the sketchbook. I use three different sketchbooks. That the first one is this. This is the Moleskine Dean A4. It's perfect. It's a portrait format. It's new format. I think that it's new. It's only have 1 year this format.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And
Right.
the second one is this other.
Wow.
This is Stillman and Byrne.
Oh,
And,
Stillman and
and
Byrne.
yes, and the model is Beta.
Okay. The Beta
And
series, Stillman and Byrne.
Beta series, and it's a soft cover. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's fantastic.
That, and when you do all the writing as well, is it the pencil that you're using?
Yes,
To,
yes.
okay.
I use the same technique that the drawing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I am drawing with with pen,
Okay.
I put the text with pen. I use the
Okay.
same technique. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the last one sketch that I use is this one. It's my favorite. It's Canson.
Okay.
Okay. It's this. It's perfect.
Okay.
It's
So what?
it's a very normal sketchbook. It's very cheap. Okay, and yes, it's full of food. Yes.
I must say your food drawings are also, I mean, they really bring out all the emotion and all the hunger pangs. It's not good for guys like me who have to lose some weight.
Yes.
But it looks so tempting. I just saw a quick question. Like the pencil that you use, is it easy to erase if you need to?
I mean, no, it's very easy to eraser, but it's possible. It's possible, but it's more difficult. It's more difficult than one normal. Okay.
All right, because it's a grease pencil. You were saying, correct?
No, because it's with oil base.
Because it's oil based, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's oil based.
This
That's
a
why.
little bit. It's a little bit more complicated. Okay, but it's possible. No problem. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay, and I'm just curious. You go out to draw. Do you carry them all?
Yes. The three. I carry three because it depends if when I arrive to the place for draw. I look and I decide what sketchbook I choose.
Yeah, that makes sense. So actually it's your sketchbooks, you have your pencil, you have the big pen, and what about the paint? Do you carry that with you as well, or you do it later?
No, I do in the same place all.
Oh, everything. Okay.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes,
Everything
yes,
on location.
yes. And the
Yeah,
watercolor and the
yeah,
water brush,
yeah.
all I carry all.
In a big bag.
Yes, in a backpack, in a normal backpack.
Okay.
Yes, I don't have
That,
any problem. I
okay.
am I am younger.
Well, I understand that because sometimes also like when people say, "Oh, why do you carry so much stuff?" and I don't have so much to carry, but because I'm using iPad. But to me, like if I put more things in my backpack, it also helps me to burn calories.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
so
No, no.
it makes it possible to eat more. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Maybe you can tell us now about your approach and what kind of challenge you have for our audience.
Okay, my challenge for the people,
Hmm.
for the urban
Hmm.
sketchers,
Yes.
is that draw themselves,
Hmm.
okay, in
Yes.
action, doing
Ah,
something, so eating, cooking,
okay.
resting,
Okay.
or drawing. This is my
So
challenge. Yes,
draw yourself in action.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Let me pull up some of your examples here. Okay.
Is this okay?
Ah, that one. Okay. That's that is a fascinating challenge. So
Yes,
draw
yes.
yourself in action.
Yes, yes. Eating, cooking, resting, or drawing, or
This is
doing something. I don't have any
yeah.
problem. Uh,
Okay.
I put in Instagram when finish the interview. Okay, for all
Okay.
people.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
For so anyone who has any questions, then you can go to Santi's Instagram for inspiration. But
Yes,
he was
yes,
saying,
yes,
draw yourself in various settings doing different things. I think that's
yes,
going to be very fascinating. It's quite an
yes,
introspective challenge.
yes.
Okay.
Around,
So,
it's perfect around the table. And the main element is the table.
mhm.
Okay, it's the same
Ah, I
table.
see. So it centers around the table. And this
Yes,
is the story that you're
yes,
telling of yourself when you're stuck at home. Okay,
yes,
that sounds
yes,
fascinating. I love the fact that you have such different arrangement because it
yes,
seems so simple, but there are so many ways you can compose the page as well. And it looks
yes.
good in any direction.
Yes, I am graphic designer.
Yes, that's right. So we bring a different eye to things. Okay,
Yes,
that
yes, yes,
that sounds fascinating. Thank you so much, Santi. And
yes.
for those of you who are wondering about Santi's name and Róisín as well, I've just put up their name on the panel on up here so you can see. Check them out on Instagram. Thank you so much again, Santi. We're coming to the end of our
Rob,
show.
excuse me, Rob.
It's yeah,
You
yeah.
know
It's
this?
so good
You
to
know this?
so good to see it. Yes.
It's
I
the
was just
same
about to
cup.
say thank you for being on
Che-
the show and cheers, Santi.
Cheers and
Cheers.
cheers up to everybody with
Yeah.
this situation. Cheers up.
Yes. Cheers up. That's
Okay.
true. Okay. We
Cheers.
toast to we toast to all you urban sketchers out there. Cheers. Be happy
Cheers.
and yeah, we'll make it through this.
I hope to see you soon, Rob.
Yeah, I hope to see you too soon. In
Okay.
person, I look forward to drawing with you one day.
Yes, 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 yes. Of course.
Okay. Of
Thank you
course.
for all.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being on the show.
I
Yeah.
am glad to see you.
Oh yes. Me too. Me
Thank
too.
you for all.
Ciao.
Okay.
Ciao,
Ciao.
Santi. Thank you again.
Ciao,
All
ciao.
right. Well, that was Santi, and again, I am just putting up the Instagram handles of Santi and Róisín. Please go check them out. They do amazing stuff, and if you want some inspiration, well, that's where you're gonna get it. So, if you just joined us, you're a little late. We're coming to the end of the show. This is USK Talks. I am Rob. And there will be a replay on the Urban Sketchers account on Instagram, 24 hours. And the other good piece of news that I can tell you is we have our amazing team, and they are now able to put all these shows on YouTube coming also to IGTV. So we will have an archive of all these amazing talks for you to draw inspiration from for years to come. So until next time, until next Sunday, stay safe, be well, stay healthy, keep on sketching, and I will see you next Sunday, 4 p.m. GMT. Here in Hong Kong, it will be midnight. So have an amazing week, people. Ciao.